Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got a banging series for you here to wrap up our coverage of the DreamHack EU Regionals from the, that's it, the DreamHack EU Regionals. This is one of the banging matchups that's been on my to-cast list for a while. We finally got the replays, and so we can close this out. It's Reynor in the top right side of the map, of course, representing Kaisi Gaming, the Italian stallion, and the world champion from last year. Barely missed out on getting back-to-back world championships, lost 4-3 to Cyril in the grand finals. He's going to be up against HeroMarine, Big Gabe, a player who made it to the semi-finals and was so close to eliminating Reynor. Was up 2-0 but got reversaled there. No doubt HeroMarine going to be one who's always out for vengeance. He's not a player who comes out saying, I'm 100% going to beat you. Excuse me, guys. He always has an immense amount of respect for Reynor, and he's always a little bit intimidated by him as well. But that's been HeroMarine for a long time, is just being, you know, people would say he doesn't believe, he's never going to make those big improvements or make it to the top as a player. That's what people used to say, because he's just too, you know, too negative. That's what a lot of people said, and yet we keep seeing HeroMarine get better. It's just the slow and steady grind of a hard worker. I don't see HeroMarine as being quite as naturally gifted as some of the, you know, someone like Reynor. I still think he's incredibly good, but I feel like it's been a grind for him to improve little by little over the years, and it's just been through consistent effort and training so hard that he's gotten himself up there. And I think him and his real hardcore supporters would say, well, he's not actually being negative, he's being realistic. And it's just, he's just this ultra realistic to the point of where it sounds negative. You'll be like, oh, I don't have a chance versus this guy right now, or, you know, I probably only have a 7% chance. So you just say something weird like that. Likewise, it comes out the other way as well, where you'll say this Protoss player played like an absolute baboon. They play like they're a 4K player. I can't believe they're a pro. And that does sometimes rub his opponents the wrong way. But he would say, hey, I say the same things about myself. It's, you know, if you can't handle reality, you can't handle reality. It's a little rough, I think, for those on the receiving end of the criticism, but boy, is it entertaining for us to watch on the sidelines. Now, Reynor's going to be going for Overlord speed very early. This does negate a lot of his minerals, right? He's had to leave 2 extra workers in the gas. He's gone Ling speed into that. He can't quite afford as many queens early on, or to get the drones up on this third as fast. You can see that third base is a little bit slower. Now, HeroMarine's gone a super fast Banshee opening. He's gone straight for Banshees. His first one's already making its way around the top side of the map. Cloak is already only about 25 seconds from finish, and he's just been building Hellions one at a time. And the third command center goes down just before 4 minutes. So it's still a very economic build for HeroMarine, but he squeezes the Banshee out, doesn't quite have the same number of Hellions poking and pressuring. Hellions build so quickly that you can still, even off a non-reacted factory, build 3 Hellions in a minute, so it's not that bad. Hellions and Reapers coming on forward. Now, Reynor, of course, is also a player who maybe not as negative about his opponent's skill level, but also a little brash. Oh, and in this case, he was delaying his Spore Crawlers. He started it only at about 435, and HeroMarine's build order specifically designed to take advantage of this very greedy Spore timing. It's going to force him to pull every drone to the natural, which in itself is already a lot of mining time. Now he's losing all the mining on the natural and 6 drones, and the Banshee gets out of there scot-free. That is a beautiful start to this game for HeroMarine. He's even going to get 1 or 2 more on that third base. Behind it, double engineering bay into the barracks, looking to play that bio follow-up. Creep spread, relatively uncontested though, so it is starting to get out there. Reynor does need to make sure it pushes down the south side as well, as very common for drops to hit that angle. HeroMarine's going to hang at the south and try to deny this 4th base from being taken. That's actually a good usage of a Banshee. We can catch 1 or 2 drones going down there. It'll slow down Reynor's 4th by a bit. Nice transfuse. Saves that one, and Reynor's actually got 2 pervy boy overlords just hanging out here, having a bit of a cheeky watch. The Marine's not even bothering to chase it, realizing that overlord speed means it's more important for him to focus on his macro, hitting that just perfectly. He's got a supply block about to come in at the exact same time as his depots are finishing, and that's always brilliant to see. You can see 1 SCV stopping production, but only for about 5 seconds, so he's kind of really just managing things very nicely. Now, it looks like only a single Evo chamber for Reynor. Reynor is playing a little conservative on the upgrades. That's a little weird. I mean, he doesn't quite have the gas for the second one anyway, I guess, so we can just add it in the near future. Ooh, and the Banshee does get 2 drones going down to take that base. The first one, Queens come down to respond, and the second one still goes down. Couldn't transfuse that as it was off creep. This denies that 4th for a long time. So the patience of HeroMarine just waiting there, realizing Reynor doesn't want to expand towards the Terran. This base and this base in the north are both very vulnerable. That's a great maneuver. Now, just 11 Marines coming in on the north side. It's not a very big double drop, but they're going to see if they can get an Overlord. Hellions trying to slow this creep down to open up a push path. And gets an Overlord without stimming. Great judgment by HeroMarine. Does end up stimming towards the creep nonetheless. He's going to start clearing it on the north side. The main base of Reynor losing that creep control. And the Marine's just going to try and pick off a few Zerglings. But stim runs out. Picks up, saves every single Marine. Uh-oh, he's got to watch out for the Banelings, HeroMarine. Ooh, does save him at the last second. Still has not lost a Marine. Each time he does that, he gets, 25 minerals for each Zergling kill. You can see HeroMarine has not lost a single unit. He's killed 22 Zerg units. That's 9 drones, 5 Zerglings, an Overlord, and 7 Creep Tumors. Perfect game for the German players so far. His 1-1 upgrades are finishing. And what I love about this is his armory's just finished as well. So he can actually start his 2-2 immediately. Meanwhile, +1 melee does start for Reynor. He's going to try and catch up on that. Ooh, the Hellions lure the Queens out. The Marines go for a bit of a divey dive. But he doesn't want to chase too deep on creep, and he does end up getting out of there. The preservation of the units is amazing. The value is amazing. You know what, though? This is Reynor. And if you give Reynor any advantage at all, he'll run away with it. You might look at this and say, what are you talking about, Pig? Look at the minimap. Holy crap. Look at the creep spread. I was saying he needs to spread creep in the bottom, but he just spread creep through the middle and is blanketing the bottom. HeroMarine has a good push path on the north, but that bottom side of the map is unpushable, and Reynor's gold base, when he chooses to go for it, is going to be very hard to take out. Now, HeroMarine is up 1-1 upgrades versus 0-0. Reynor does not want to fight until at least Carapace is finished in the next 5 seconds. Marines Hellbats in a giant spready. The siege tank sieges up right there in the middle. Bane's coming on forward. The Queens trade very well versus small numbers of Terran units. It makes the Terran want to clump up, run forward to focus the Queens, but that presents a big target for the Banelings. Lovely spreadies, though, for HeroMarine. He wants those Banelings to trade in efficiently. A little bit too spread on the left side, but some pullbacks on those Marines, and it looks like this is going to be a trade out. I think HeroMarine is okay with this value. It wasn't amazing, but oh, he saves the siege tank. Just barely saves the siege tank, and that Hellion even chases off the Lings and the Banes. He resieges the tank with the Banshees. What a brave, brave push this is. Units Lost tab tells the story. 2-1 efficiency still in favor of HeroMarine. That being said, Reynor sees everything that's going on. He's seen the 4th command center. His creep on the south side is very good, but for him, he's trying to get to Hive. Now, he's got a Hydra Den, but he's not building Hydra upgrades, which tells us Reynor just wants to play Ling Bane and go straight for Viper and Lurkers, and that's the way to do it. The Lings come in, flank the siege tanks from the south. Bad camera work for me. Sorry for not catching that flank until a bit too late. That is very important. Getting rid of the siege tanks weakens this a lot. The Banshee is still alive, but one of them's gone down. Look at the units lost. 1 Banshee, 3 tanks have fallen. Marines can harass, but they can't quite stand their ground the way they can when there's siege tanks backing them up. And only now is the double siege tank production kicking in. HeroMarine going to start adding those vehicle weapons. Marines in the north, he's going to start trying to do split pushing down the south, but that's where he's going to encounter that massive creep spread. This is his first time really venturing into this territory and realizing just how well Reynor's done. You give Reynor map control, he will take advantage. There's 1 creep tumor just barely outside of scan range down the bottom. A little unfortunate there for HeroMarine. Oh no, it was just barely on the edge of that apparently. It was just on the other side of the grass. He's going to split an 8 Marine drop down the bottom. There are a few Hydras there though. If Reynor's quick to respond, he might get it. Uh-oh. Ooh, nice catch here for Reynor. 5 unupgraded Hydras, enough to take that out. 2 Vipers are on the way now for Reynor. He's got the gold base building. By no means is he in a fantastic economic spot. He's on 4 bases, trying to take a 5th, both there and the gold. This gives him the option. If he loses control of one side, Reynor can pull to the other. So he's going to try and work both angles at once to give himself options. Oh, he takes a dump on HeroMarine's factory. And for those who don't know, that is a health hazard. You can get all sorts of infections if you work in that environment. So they're going to have to close the working area to fully detoxify it. Make sure they clean that one out. Does stop. Basically, it just removes a siege tank worth of production. So a very nice move from that. 3-3 upgrades are coming on in. 2-2 is almost finished for Reynor. He's starting his +3 carapace. He's getting Hydra upgrades now. Now that's a little weird to me that he's going for Hydra upgrades. I guess he's decided, you know what, I don't need Lurkers. He's got siege tanks. Let's just stay on the more mobile army. And I think this is a really good move for Reynor because he doesn't really want to fight until he has a few more upgrades. But he's keeping HeroMarine's army back when HeroMarine really wants to do a maxed out push. HeroMarine's going to start a 5th and 6th command center. I would love to see some drops from HeroMarine, just anything to pin Reynor back, and that would potentially allow HeroMarine to move across the map. Baneling gets focused down, as do a bunch of Zerglings. Reynor's got to be careful. As, I mean, this is not his favorite map by any means. It's kind of hard to get run by. I'd like to see him be a bit devious and send a Ling Bane attack all the way around. HeroMarine, though, is ready for it. He's got a big spready of tanks up through his natural and third area. Marine Marauder Banshee out front. You do not want to get these Marines hit by the Banelings, but there's just not that many Banes. And yet again, not an efficient fight here for HeroMarine. His 2 Vikings are going to try and land in the top. They're going to just make it awkward to take that base. Adrenal Glands +3 Carapace on the way. Still no +3 melee starting up. No sign of Lurker Tech. No sign of Ultra Cavern. We've talked in the past about how Reynor is lazy at getting his Hive Tech out. This game he's been very crisp. He's lazy, I would say, against Protoss more than against Terran. He got the Vipers instantly, and he's also got the Adrenal and the Carapace pretty early, but I would like to see that tech coming out. It seems to him, he's saying, no. HeroMarine's going to get to Ghosts. I don't want Lurkers versus Ghosts. I want the more mobile army. Just let me secure a bit more mining, and then we can kind of move in that direction. Now, there's Overseers morphing here in the natural. They're going to come over. This is the Banshee from the early game. Ooh, Vipers are there. They'd like to start peppering these medevacs with parasitic bombs, maybe blanketing the tanks in blinding clouds. HeroMarine knows this is coming, though, and he's in position very well. Looks like the second Banshee just went down here in the north side. Reynor now on 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's going up to 7 bases. So he's basically securing every single base on his side of the map. He's also burrowing Banelings forward, which is a really cute way of trying to get value. So it looks like Reynor is accepting that it's almost impossible to kill a Terran here because they can just sit in this central choke, and it's hard to get any damage done without trading very cost inefficiently. It feels to me like Reynor is not even going to try and swamp in. Few Lings go down. Looks like some medevacs got abducted, maybe parasitic bombed on one, but one got abducted before that. He's going to go double Spire, so expect Pathogen Glands, Neuroparasite upgrades to come in. 10 Infestors should be coming out, and he should be going into Broodlords. And you can absolutely beat a Terran in late game with Broodlords. Reynor historically has not wanted to do it. He's historically lost 5 mid-game armies, been down 30,000 resources and units lost, and then desperately used his last bank of resources to try to do an Infestor Broodlord push, but with no real bank to back it up, and it's kind of like a half-cocked, desperate transition. This looks more like a dedicated transition. This looks like he's saying, I'll play you in this stage of the game. Look, it's this map. I know I have to do it on this map. Maybe on a map that's more wide open, I'll go for the big busting Baneling waves, but on this map, nah, I'll accept this stage of the game. Oh, he tries to focus the medevac, doesn't quite get it. HeroMarine does save 8 of those Marines. Oh, careful with those medevacs, bro. A few more Marines coming up. There's a siege tank there. This is probably going to tempt HeroMarine to move a siege tank forward and then try to take this watchtower, because that really removes Reynor's map vision. As long as Reynor has the tower, he feels relatively safe, but the moment that's gone, drops can appear in that north side at any moment, which means Reynor will probably have to go for a... Oh, Reynor needs more support here. Luckily, Mauling Bane comes in just in time. As I said, drops could hit the north side. He might need to fill that with Spore Crawlers if he can't keep control of the watchtower. He runs in with some Zerglings, but there's a lot of ghosts there. He gets 2 tanks. That's a lot of Zerglings that go down for it. It's down 3,000 resources and units lost. He's going to be looking to get this one closer to even. The economic advantage that Reynor gets on this map is this one base. So it's 1 full base of resources, 6 mineral patches, and 2 gases. So it's not quite as much as an 8 mineral patch base, but it is a few thousand more resources, about 4,500 more gas as well. He's going to pop out Massling Nidus in the back door. HeroMarine's trying to drop some units over here to defend. He's got a lot of orbital command centers. I don't think losing a few SCVs matters so much. It's more about getting value trades since there's... Oh, or distracting him, pulling him out of position perhaps. Here we go. Blinding Clouds on the front. He's going to go for a big attack, but my God. My God, HeroMarine's setup is beautiful. Yes, he loses a command center and a couple tanks, but that's not cheap. That is not cheap. Oh, a few ghosts do run into the Banelings, but a lot of Banes go down, and these units lost trades. Minus 5,000 resources for HeroMarine. He's lost 15k. HeroMarine's lost 10k. HeroMarine should just keep replacing these central planetaries, keep the tank spread going. And it's about being methodical and always just closing the little holes. Like, Reynor can throw a wave, open a little hole, and then he can turn that into a bigger hole later on. Especially when HeroMarine goes down here to take this 6th base in the bottom. So you've got to just be patient and just keep rebuilding command centers, planetaries, tanks, turrets, wall-offs, and you should be in a good position. Now, there's still... He's actually built 5 lurkers, which are not a bad siege unit. Oh, he's killing his own SCVs. He was killing ones with minerals in their hand. Disgusting inefficiency, HeroMarine. You just blasted like 30 minerals off the map. Gross. Stop it. Stop it. He's using his planetary right now. Of course, he just wants to lower that supply of SCVs because he's already got so many orbitals. He's on 7 orbitals. He's got more command centers making. And he says, well, I don't need so many SCVs. Let's just have more army available. Now, he has some units there. That's not in range. HeroMarine. That is not in range, mate. Is he trying to bait Lings to pop out? Because Lurkers might pop out as well. Lingbane runs in on the south side. He's trying to siege this with Lurkers, Lingbane, Hydra. He's going to pop Lurkers out in the back door. HeroMarine with a bit of a mistake here. And that bunker is going to be outranged by those 10 range Lurkers. Mass Thor drop to respond. Oh my god. 5 gigantic big boys going to pull out their big, gigantic cannons. They're going to unzip those cannons on their shoulders, and they're going to try and blast down these Lurkers with Thor's hammer. And that's actually a pretty efficient way of dealing with it now. As HeroMarine, maybe you're happy to just let this keep happening just to let Reynor bleed resources in. But yeah, I think leaving a Thor or probably a Viking or a Ghost even better is a good way to do this. Something you can do is you can build enough turrets to just block the area. So the Overseer needs to come in deeper to actually have enough space. Because a Nidus is a pretty big structure. So you build a turret there, turret there, turret there. And then maybe a turret there. And it would have to come deep enough to put a Nidus like there, which is obviously not going to work out too well. Unit source tab still close to 6,000 resources in favor of HeroMarine. Continues to trade well. It does make me wonder a little bit, like, hey, what if Reynor took this base and tried to mine it out? Or even now, just grabbed 30 of his workers and started long distance mining? Because, I mean, this base is safe. This base is safe. This base is reasonably safe. I do like that he's pulled workers to the front a little bit. But yeah, it would have been cool even to long distance mine. Like, he built a hatchery here and just, like, try to mine it out. Because those are minerals you're taking away from your opponent. So that's actually damage. And that's what a lot of people forget in these late game scenarios. Now, 5 Infestors, 2 Vipers are out for Reynor, so he's got that pretty advanced tech Spellcaster edition, but he doesn't actually have Broodlords yet. He's just going 2/2 air upgrades. He's waiting to swap into Broodlords. He's hoping that maybe if HeroMarine pushes on creep, he's like, oh, I can beat him with just Lingbane Hydra, a couple Lurkers, and some spells. Like, if I use Fungal and all that stuff, that'll be great. Oh, Reynor's like, god damn it, the turret's about to finish. So he really wants to get those Banelings to do something, but he's not going to be able to. The turret's going to finish. The Banelings do detonate, but they just damage some ghosts. They don't kill anything. So he's slowing this base down, but HeroMarine being very patient. And I think this is the right way to play for HeroMarine. Someone might be saying, oh, this is boring, but I mean, Maru's shown that Reynor gets frustrated in these sorts of games, and I think, wasn't it even this map where it was this base down here, Reynor's last base, and the BCs popped in, and he neuraled a whole bunch of BCs and killed them with Corrosive Bile, and then still just lost the game anyway because he was so far behind. Reynor doesn't enjoy this sort of game. He thinks it's boring. He likes movement. He is your typical, you know, ADHD Zerg player. He's a young kitty, is Reynor. I guess he's about 20 now, but still. 21 maybe even, 22. But he's still got that hyperactive nature in his playstyle. He wants there to be movement. HeroMarine's just going to play it real slow and careful. The scary thing is HeroMarine is like, when do the Broodlords come? And we see 10 Corruptors coming out now. Because he wants to keep these Thors alive. But he maybe wants a few more Vikings as well. Vikings are amazing to help against the Broodlords and even the Vipers as well. Where'd that one pop out? So he's got Infestor Spine on the bottom. So if an army comes forward, he can deal with it. Looks like Queens are trying to spread creep into the back door of HeroMarine. Right up on his doorstep. And he's actually going Fusion Core and extra Starports. Now, Thor Ranged Lib with Ghost support is one of the best compositions. Lings are going to try to run in. They're actually going to get on top of 1 tank, 2 tank. This is what happens when you lose the planetary in the middle. He never replaced that planetary. He's going to lose 5 siege tanks here. Ooh, 5 siege tanks go down. That one barely survives. That's not a bad trade for Reynor. I think that's definitely a decent little trade. And that, to be fair, I would say that's a great trade. But then I realize he's going into Broodlords and he's just killed all the siege tanks, which are really bad against Broodlords. And it's like, damn, you kind of are allowing him to replace that with Thors and Libs and units that are actually effective. Now, the reason Libs are important is because unlike siege tanks, they can't get hit by Broodlords. That's the longest range unit of Reynor. So the Broodlords normally can kill the tanks. And if the tanks aren't there, the Infestors can land their spells. Liberators, on the other hand, cannot get hit by Broodlords. So they're going to zone out the Infestors if HeroMarine does this just right. Use Scans and Liberators to stop the Infestors from neuroparasiting. And that's going to allow his Thors and Ghosts to deal with everything else. Obviously looking for big EMPs as well. keep an eye out. It looks like another 12 SCVs. HeroMarine just killed to get some more army, replacing it with 5 more Liberators. Very nice. Reynor might look for Neuroparasite on a Ghost. If he can EMP all the other Ghosts twice, that could be huge. And all the Ghosts are on full energy, so they've all got enough energy for 2 EMPs. View Neural one and bam, bam, drop 2 EMPs very quickly. That can be huge. I don't think EMP has a cooldown. I think it's just got a cast animation, so you kind of have to, it takes like a second to cast the second one. A second to cast the second one. Nice confusing sentences here. Remember, guys, if English isn't your first language, we are purposefully gatekeeping because I am an elitist prick. Definitely being serious about that. Last time I made a joke like that in a cast, I do remember having about 50 YouTube comments who were like, I can't believe you. You think this? You're such a bad person. I was like, okay, YouTube comments don't understand sarcasm, guys. I'll just wave a flag every time. It was sarcasm. I wasn't being serious. I made a doo-doo. I was making fun of myself. Anyways, big fight about to happen. HeroMarine's going to push forward. Watch out for... Oh, he's attacking his own creep tumors and attacking his own broodlings. Reynor's going to do a siege here. Abducts the Liberator into the Spore Crawlers. Now, he wants to keep using the Broodlords to try and attack from far away, but look at that. Nice snipe does answer. So, yes, the Liberator dies, but so does a Broodlord. The Thors are pretty close to the front, but look at this stream of these units. The siege tank friendly fire is what often ends up doing the most damage here to yourself. Now, obviously, it's very, very rare that the Broodlings actually connect, but just watch for any siege tanks friendly firing. That's why HeroMarine's unsieging his tanks. He's actually going to move them forward and focus the static. Here comes Reynor looking for those abducts, but the Ghosts are there looking for the EMP. Both sides dancing back and forwards. The Broodlords, he's going to try and keep attacking his own creep tumors, and he's going to then attack his own Broodlings. Now, to do this expertly, you want to pull a few Broodlings back each wave. That's what Reynor's messing up on, but he gets an abduct on a siege tank. Ooh, here we go. Okay, it's very hard to micro the spellcasters at the same time as the Broodlords. This is wild from young Reynor. I'm going to flip that scoreboard down the bottom, by the way, since Reynor is kind of on the bottom side to make that less confusing. That might make it more confusing since I'm doing it mid-game. Can he get the Ghosts? The Ghosts. One Ghost falls, 2 Ghosts. 2 Ghosts just went down. Nice chain fungal abduct on a medevac. It gets blasted by the spores. And I like the way Reynor here, he has very little anti-air, so he's built a big wall of spores. I'd like to see him build another 20 or 30 spores behind this in case these ones go down, because he does not have enough supply to have units that shoot up, right? He's got a few Queens, 2 Hydras, 3 Corruptors. Oh, nice abduct, gets another tank. Dude, the units lost tab is only 5,000 resources apart, but HeroMarine realizes, okay, I'm getting picked away here. He's out microing me in this scenario. I'm going to nuke him back. I'm just going to break this position with nukes. Whoa. Cancel, yeah? Okay, he cancels his own nuke. I thought HeroMarine was about to walk into his own nuke, but you can cancel it. Here we go. Man, what a great way to start this. This is, of course, a semi-final round of 4 upper bracket match of the DreamHack EU Atlanta Regionals. HeroMarine versus Reynor. Finally got our hands on these replays, and here we go. Broodlings coming on forward. Ghosts gonna try and pull back there. You gotta watch out for the spellcasters. Vikings taking damage from the spores. The Ghosts EMP, the spore crawlers. You gotta remember, HeroMarine is not scanning this army as much as he should be. I'd like to see HeroMarine with a few more scans, maintaining vision of that army. He's starting to break through the static though, which is really good, and I like that. That nuke is beautiful. Oh, fungal goes down. Abduct! He abducts the Ghost that was calling in the nuke. Reynor with a beautiful maneuver. I thought he'd have to give up that position. That allows him to maintain this position and continue to wear down this army. It's down to 4,000 resources difference between the two of them. Reynor is closing the gap, and not just that, he's mostly losing minerals, not gas. Minerals is the less important resource in this scenario. Usually, sometimes as it gets to the tail end, it might end up being the other way around. But right now, he's trading out spores and spines for the most part. He's not really losing any expensive units, and he's picking off a unit here, a unit there. Another parasitic bomb goes down. The Banelings are going to roll into the Ghosts! But no, nice pullback there from HeroMarine. HeroMarine has 12 Thors with 3-3. His bio is also on 3-3. His Liberators are missing 1 attack upgrade, but otherwise doing all right. Spores run forward, land some hits on those Liberators. Nice spready on the Infestors. Lands 1 fungal on the Ghosts. 1 EMP lands, but it only hits a single Infestor. Another Ghost gets focused. Another Ghost is about to get focused down there as well, but the Thors land some hits. The Broodlords get bruised, but none of them actually go down. They can regen, and they can get transfused as time goes on. Broodlings coming in from far away. Where are the Hellbats? He doesn't have many Hellbats. You'll notice the Broodlings are surviving a little bit longer. Whenever there's a Hellbat, it one-shots the Broodlings. That's right. That's a 34 kill Hellbat. The other Hellbat that just arrived is already on 10 kills. The snipe goes down, a lurker does fall. The Liberator is starting to push forward, but this is costing resources for both sides. The gold base has been abandoned right now by Reynor, abandoning the last 500 gas on it. He's slowly getting pushed back. This is a very intense micro duel. If those Ghosts and Hellbats ever all get cleared by the Banelings, then Reynor can engage. If he can Blinding Cloud the Thors then and just drop Broodlings on their face, he might be able to smash it, but he's on 20 Broods versus 15 Thors. 15 Thors will annihilate 20 Broodlords in a straight-up battle. Where are the Thors going? Oh, God. Oh, God. Abducts come in. 2 Thors get pulled into the army. Bit of a mistake there for Mr. HeroMarine. And this creep spread really helping Reynor out, but he is losing control of his space now. HeroMarine, I think, is actually, yeah, he's 8,000 resources more efficient, so clearing all this static, the moment he broke the Zerg position, he did get some more efficiency and did start to get some value. I really thought he was just going to continue pressing, though. But one thing right now, guys, is he only has 2 Hellions, and that's a huge mistake. You need to keep at least 6 Hellions, preferably a few more, just in case in your army. Otherwise, Broodlings will cause you a lot of trouble. Now, there's an argument that Ghosts can clear Broodlings, but I guarantee you it's not fast enough. HeroMarine going to throw away another bunch of SCVs here. Luckily, unlike in games like Dota and stuff, there's no experience that you're not leveling up your opponent's units. You're just saying, please kill these. Please kill these. And you can see Reynor's actually using them as Broodling targets to get those out. 5 more Hellions are on their way. Okay, HeroMarine realizes that imbalance in his army comp. He needs some Bernie boys to deal with the Broodlings right now. Here we go. Oh, Viper takes a few Thor shots. He does bruise these Thors. There's a few repairing SCVs in the back as well, for those who don't know. A few SCVs on auto repair for HeroMarine. He's on 15 Thors, 7 Liberators, 4 tanks, 8 Ghosts, and a bunch of Hellbats. Now, there's an argument that he should get a few more Ghosts, but because it's near impossible to land snipes in these battles, I actually think this is a good way of doing it. Just having about 8 Ghosts seems like a good number. I wouldn't mind some more nukes coming down just to clear up the map and find position, but there's also a part of me that says, should HeroMarine even be pushing? Should he just chill and defend? I mean, the efficiency tells us, yeah, pushing is fine. Pushing is good. I definitely prefer pushing as a Terran player. Sitting back is not natural for anyone that's not Maru. Even Maru will eventually push once he gets to this Mega Maxed army, similar to this. Ooh, parasitic bombs go down. Those Libs taking some big damage. The bees just kind of blasting their way around that cockpit. Hellbat's wanting to clear this creep in the north side, but that's going to take another scan to do so. And of course, he's focused on the army on the front. The Hellbat's trying to roast and toast, but my God, these Broodlings are scary. Can he focus fire one of the Hellbats? Yeah. Gets rid of 1 Hellbat. 100 minerals of value. The amount of work these players put in to just shave a couple units off their opponent is absolutely wild. It really is. It's insane. Up to 26 Broodlords now as well, so that's a more even fight against these Thors. These Liberators are all up into crazy kill counts. The Hellbats, the Thors, everything are. But of course, it's mostly Broodlings, so kill counts are relatively meaningless. For the Zerg, on the other hand, the kill counts are much more meaningful. Here we go, Liberated Thor, Hellbat! HeroMarine's going for it, a wild shove, but the Banelings find the Ghosts, and a bunch of their Hellbats go down as well. Uh-oh. A lot of the Hellbats and Hellions went down. He's got to rally more Hellions in right now. He's building 3 Thors and 2 Hellions at a time. I'd like to see a lot more Hellions queue up right now. I feel like that's what allows you to break through here. Fungal's landing on this army. The Vipers are a bit low on energy, which is hurting him, but the Spore Crawlers are starting to get through those Liberators. The Spores are holding things up. Only 1 Broodlord's gone down here. This seems like a massive victory for Reynor. HeroMarine popping a bit of a stiffy and trying to shove it into the choke point. But it looks like that was not the right move. He tried to spread his units out beforehand, but he should have realized that this was still a single choke point he was pushing through. And anytime you try to force your way through a choke point, you get annihilated. Just all those neurals coming in. The moment he tried to retreat, Reynor said, "You're not going anywhere." And suddenly, for the first time in this game, Reynor is ahead on the units lost. Unfortunately for him, an Infested does walk into these 2 siege tanks that got left behind. But HeroMarine has only really got 1 max out left in him, I would imagine now. That's a real big bummer. You got to remember that even though you're like, well, units lost is like even, how does Reynor have so much more bank? How bullshit is Zerg? What is going on? Remember the way the races work. HeroMarine, if there was a few more bases, would be massively favored. That's the way Terran works, right? Because they have all these orbital command centers that can just drop mules. You can get a bigger army than your opponent, drop your SCV count. That's awesome. Problem, each one of those orbitals is 550 minerals. He's built 11 of them. That's right. That is 6,000 minerals worth of command centers that HeroMarine's committed to, which of course the Zerg has not. That's something that doesn't show up in the units lost tab, and that's why Terran is naturally, in this scenario, 6,000 resources more inefficient. Add 4 planetaries as well. That's a lot of resources. It adds up, and it means that HeroMarine's next army is probably, it's close to his last army. He's got about 2,000 minerals, maybe 3,000 left to mine. Nice little marine drop in the north side. It's going to deny some of Reynor's last mining up here. He's only got a few hundred minerals, but killing the hatcheries can lower the remax potential. If you kill these hatcheries, obviously there's a ton of lava on them right now, but that can be pretty nice. Beautiful pickup. The thing is, as fast as boost is, if the corruptors keep chasing, they can catch you when your boost runs out. Corruptors are so fast these days, but he does make it to safety. Mass Liberator goes to Hellbat Thor. Now, the thing is, if the Broodlords are like here, you actually want to bring army from the north, the center, and the south. You need to spread your units out or they get stuck behind each other. So 2 things happened bad for HeroMarine in that last fight. The Ghosts and the Hellbats got stuck in front of the Thors and mostly killed by the Banelings. Number 1. Number 2, his Thors were stuck behind each other. You see how they're all stuck here? So this is the way Reynor is using the positioning, these cliffs and the terrain is very intelligent. He's making things awfully difficult for HeroMarine to find an angle to push in. And he's playing very patiently, and it seems like, I do think, you know, HeroMarine could basically just slowly veer around and look for the right angle. But I think he feels more confident just forcing the fight so that everything's kind of decided for him. I don't think HeroMarine wants it to be reactive. I think he just wants to choose an angle and go shove. Siege the libs forward methodically, keep spreading the Thor Ghost Hellbat, and just look for that correct engagement. HeroMarine scanning the army, the Broodling Siege is beginning. How many Hellbats we got in here? 10 Hellbats this time, bit better. Nice abduct though, a Liberator gets fungal abducted and picked off by the spores. Creep Tomb is being used as target fodder. And you can see the Hellbats starting to take a little bit of damage from those Broodlings, but the Hellbats up front roast them, they toast them. Another Liberator goes down from an abduct fungal combo. If you can fungal those ghosts, they're sticking out right now. But the scan is keeping Reynor very afraid. Ooh, if you could just get one Infestor forward and land a fungal, the Broodlords could really convert on that. Take a bunch of those ghosts out. Ooh, okay, HeroMarine, he's got 15 Thors, and like I said, 15 Thors, it's just so hard to find the correct fighting angle. The way Reynor is using the terrain is huge. On a more wide open map, the Thors look almost unstoppable, but here, maybe if he gets rid of these Spore Crawlers and this creep here, then he could move forward a little bit. He's going to try and stem some Marines forward. If he could get rid of that Creep Tumor, that would be nice. But look at that. Broodlords plus Fungal equal a couple of dead Marines. Still got 3k in the bank, so HeroMarine can rebuild a couple of units, but his last minerals and gas in the bottom left almost out. One more Thor building, 16 Thors. So the big problem for Reynor and why he's playing so patient is 10 range versus 11 anti-air range on those Punisher cannons. For those who don't know, the Thors naturally have a splash damage cannon, much like a small child just spraying and praying. It's not that effective, but when they become big daddies and they unzip those big 250mm bad boys, it is 11 range. It is a huge impact payload. It is absolutely massive. 47 damage versus massive, and it just absolutely smashes. Here we go. He's trying to come around the south side for a bit of a flank. The Hellbats are starting to get picked off one at a time. Oh, big abducts on the Liberators. That's been a big problem for him. Look, a no scared for HeroMarine, so his snipe got broken there as the Broodlord got out of vision. Reynor, yes, he's losing spores. Yes, he's losing ground little by little. But I mean, this specific area is where he seems to have stalled out HeroMarine. HeroMarine's going to shove into this choke point. That's too much of a choke. I don't think this is the right angle. I think he needs to come from this southern angle at the same time. If he wants to push this, he needs Thors on that south. But instead, he's going to get very clumped on this choke point. And look at the way this Broodlord siege is happening. The Hellbat count's getting very low. He needs to be rallying Hellbats in to replace the ones that die. Because the moment the Hellbats are gone, the Thors will fall. And look at that Broodlords. The Broodlords pick off a Thor. 36 Broodlords at this point. Oh my god. Oh my god. He loses 2 Broodlords. He goes a little deep. But these Thors on the south side are outnumbered and outgunned. They'll take out a couple of the Broodlords, but only a couple. Reynor dancing in and out of vision, and HeroMarine's Thors are getting massacred. Oh my lord. An absolute slaughter. The way Reynor has used these cliffs, the creep spread, the spores, backing in and out, keeping his Infestor Viper in a very conservative position. So if the Terran ever gets impatient and shoves, only then will he bring them forward. And let's just look at the units lost up. 6 Broodlords have gone down versus 16 Thors and 18 libs in this late game. He's only lost a few Lurkers, 6 Broodlords, 3 Infestors, 4 Vipers. I mean, that's not a lot of late game units. Yes, he's lost 29 Spores and 17 Spines. Those are pretty efficient units to be losing. I don't think he minds that. Oh man, HeroMarine on his last remax hits. 13 workers versus 13. HeroMarine mining out his last little mineral patches there and up there. And you can see now that Reynor as well, his last mineral patch there. He's got actually 2 more minerals down here, 900 minerals that he's forgotten to mine. He also never retook this gas geyser on the left, though. Maybe not the most important thing right now. He will transfer workers to the bottom right base by the looks of it. I see some drones going down here. But no, it's just to build more static. Now, HeroMarine could still get a giant crushing engage and win the game. Because it's been losing fights. He's down 4,000 resources. It feels like he can't do it. But I do still think there's always a chance, right? Because if Reynor just A-moves, like, his army does still get crushed. But for HeroMarine, it's about patience. It's about calmly and slowly working your way out of here. And the problem is, of course, that creep is really providing an advantage to Reynor in terms of movement speed, vision, but also, look at that. Even just these little bits of hit points getting tickled off these Thors, and then that pushes back the Ghost Hellbat, allows him to abduct a Thor. Beautiful maneuvers there. The Viper is somehow surviving on 3 hit points as well. If he could get a parasitic bomb in those Liberators, that there is the absolute money shot in the middle of those Libs that are all sieged. He goes for the abduct instead just to confirm the kill. I love that he fungles it to make sure it can't retreat. Spore Crawler takes out a Medevac. Queen does wander forward and die. The Broodlord's coming forward. The Thors are going to get some shots, but a lot of them are trapped behind each other. A few of the Broodlords are going to fall, but the Thors are always in very big danger here as the Broodlords go back to sieging them from far away. The red hit point Thor goes down. HeroMarine has lost patience. He is going to go in. He is going to try and land that German hammer on top of the Italian boy. He says, get out of here, spaghetti boy. Schnitzel for life. Let's go! The Thors, the Libs, trying to siege forward. He cannot get in range. A giant blinding cloud. Reynor moving in and out. He's got 41 Broodlords versus 16 Thors. The Liberators can't find anything to do. There's nothing for them to shoot on the ground. It's just Broodlord versus Thor at this point. 1 Broodlord goes down, but already 3 Thors have fallen. Where's the Hellion count? He's trying to rally in 1 more Hellion, but these are the last 10 Hellions he'll have on this map. And as they go down, he cannot replace them. Yes, that Broodlings get roasted, but so do 2 Hellbats. A 3rd Hellbat goes down. The last Hellbats are falling. And when they're gone, the Broodlords will reign supreme. Another abduct on these Libs could be effective, but there's not many spores left on this side of the map. So definitely something Reynor's got to be wary of as this army moves south. Reynor with a giant bang. Blinding Cloud Neural combo! The Libs were too late to siege. The Fungals landing all over those Libs. The Infestors do get those Neurals broken, but not before the Thors have been annihilated. An absolute ridiculous swarm of Broodlords. Those Broodlords lifting up their babies, just winding them up over their head in a slingshot and tossing it at their opponent's face. That was beautiful, patient late game play. And just when we call the spaghetti boy Reynor, the guy who's too impatient to play late game, he says, am I? Am I though? And he says that he can really adjust to the map. Shows that he can do that. Gets the 9,000 resources lost advantage and some crushing final fights. Still 9,000 resources in the bank and 150 army supply advantage at the end of that game. What a wild ride. 32 Thors for 16 Broodlords. 2-to-1 efficiency. And he didn't even lose that many spellcasters doing it. That was a beautiful game from Reynor. All right. Nice game 1 from Reynor. Very patient. Didn't try to force it at all. And that's always, this is what I love about Reynor. Whenever I put him in a box and say, oh, he's too impatient, he comes out and shows a lot of patience. This, of course, is him on the left side of Data C. He's up against HeroMarine on the right side. Mouse Esports versus Kaizi Gaming. And HeroMarine's going to be going for the Command Center first build order, which I think you build on 17, yeah. So you send your 16th SCV down, you go for that one now. This map has some glorious 2-base push paths on it. I don't actually think HeroMarine will do a 2-base all-in, even though it's amazing. Like, the tank here is one of the most deadly positions in the game, because even if the Zerg flanks it, they have to go through a single space choke there, and there, which are easily plugged by Hellbats. And if you're running into a Hellbat there, a Hellbat there, Hellbat there, two tanks, it's just a disaster. They can siege your 3rd base down. So Reynor, of course, going to be keeping his eyes on that. Another great push path is a lot of people like to put tanks up here. Tank blocking the choke and one there, and then kind of drop on these 3 areas. Work the triangle, essentially, between these different areas. And, of course, use the bang ledge. This is the ledge where Marines can stand there. Can't be hit by Lings or Banes. Only Queens, Roaches, or Ravagers. Since Reynor almost always plays Ling Bane, he won't be able to deal with that until he gets Hydras out, or if he gets all of his Queens on top of it immediately. barracks into double gas, so it's not one of these heavy marine openings. Doesn't make sense to do that on such a big map. Reynor's going to come in with the Overlord. Now, you'd expect the Reaper to be coming out about 2 minutes, is usually when that pops, a minute 58 if it's super crisp. He goes right in, sees the command center finishing, and Reynor's already built 4 Zerglings, and he's got to be a little annoyed now, because he's like, if he knew that HeroMarine was, you know, capable of doing that, he might have held off, built a few more drones, delayed the Zerglings, because these Zerglings aren't going to achieve much up against this opening. Now, if HeroMarine goes straight across the map to Reaper, the Lings could bypass and waste a bit of mining time. We'll see how it goes. Reaper into factory. Reactor will go down immediately there. And the 2 gases are mining, but with just 2 workers on each gas. So he was just trying to get his Hellion tech up as quickly as possible. And then he's going to go for that 3rd CC. And you know what? The Reaper jumps out. The Lings can go straight on in there. Hey, the 4 Zerglings that I called useless might actually be quite useful. Creep is now spreading. 3rd command center goes up on the high ground. The Lings run in. Nice quick depot raise for HeroMarine. And those 4 Zerglings going to walk in. 2 in the natural, trying to look for any more SCVs that pop out. Let's see if they grab one. No. He rallies it to the outside. Good moves by HeroMarine. And he even turns to fight with 2 of the SCVs. Very good micro. He's not going to lose any units. He still loses a fair bit of mining time to the point where I think it's quite worth it. Denying 4 or 5 SCVs from mining for a good 20-30 seconds is not bad at all. These Lings being a nuisance. Can he get it? Can he get it? No. Can't quite get it. And that Zergling does go floating off to the top of the map. Woo! Does need to put back on gas here, does HeroMarine now. Of course, he was a little bit busy microing that. Starport and factory ready to swap around to go into Hellions and Banshees. And he's hitting a slight supply block, but that is because that depot was delayed. Behind this, we've got the Queens coming on out. Should be splitting those into 2 squads, but so far, all the Queens are just on one group, which is a bit of an old school and somewhat lazy way of keeping them together. There we go. Reynor does split them. Good to see you staying disciplined on that and not going into bad old habits. Keeping those Queens split just allows you to protect your creep. Anytime the Hellion Reaper comes in, yeah, they can pick up that creep tumor, but it's going to cost you a bunch of hit points on the Hellion, which really weakens any follow-ups. You can immediately respread the creep. It just means that the creep is much scarier, puts a lot of passive pressure on the Terran to get across the map. Now, spores are going down. Reynor may be a little traumatized from that super fast Banshee in the last game. Is deciding to go for spores before 4 minutes 30, so very, very early. Despite this, in fact, being a 3 command center build, and even a command center first. So I think Reynor's playing overly safe there. I think that is not really a calm, logical, oh yes, Banshees could be arriving. It's more of a Reynor going, oh, I know he's going Banshees, I better build them. They came really early game 1, and I wasn't ready for it. And you can see that basically Cloak and the first Banshee are going to arrive about a minute and a half after the Spore Crawler is built, which means he could have been using those minerals to build more drones, mining longer with those workers, and just keeping that economy rolling. 2nd and 3rd barracks are up. Double engineering bay immediately starts 1-1 upgrades. A very clean build order for HeroMarine. Reynor's no doubt going to be moving out to take that 4th. He's got his 3rd saturated. He's up on 2 gases. Baneling Nest going for Baneling speed super early. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a very fast Bane speed. 525 he starts that. Wow. Let's look at Reynor's camera. I just want to get a bit of insight into what he's thinking right now. He is building 7 more workers. He does need to build a whole lot more Overlords and either a 5th base or a Macrat pretty soon. He's only on Lingbane. He's adding a few more gases, but since there's no gas on his 3rd base, we can surmise that he doesn't want to play Mutalisks. Definitely just looks like a similar style to last game, just macro Lingbane Hydra. He's so good at it. It's not a bad way to play, but definitely a smooth opening for his opponent as well. So something where it's not going to be that easy. Banshees get a couple of creep tumors. They haven't really done any real damage. A Hellion for 7 Zerglings and an Overlord so far. Reynor's economy is mostly untouched, but the 3rd base has 10 workers for the Terran. Mules are dropping. He's building tanks, and he's got the 4th and the 5th barracks. Combat shields is remembered. And once again, armory they're building when the 1-1 is about 40 seconds from finishing. I'm so used to Terran players not starting their 2-2 on time, but HeroMarine has been very crisp on his upgrades. Reynor's going up to 6 gases now. We'll be able to transfer these bad boys over onto those. fifth base, or fourth base, sorry, mostly saturated. And he's starting to build spores. Wow. Look at that, guys. 5 spore crawlers covering the main and the fourth over here. And he's got a spore and a queen down here. The Banshees still find a pretty good position. Definitely a decent battle. Picking off 4 drones. Oh, queen flank. That's a slick move there from Reynor. Hunting these Banshees down. He's like, I know that's low on energy. You're not gonna get. You're not getting out of here. You know what's crazy? His Overseer's not here. Where is his Overseer? Okay, he's bringing one down on that right side. Ling Bane does push back the drop. Clears a few creep tumors on the left side. Feels like HeroMarine is. He's not really creating any impact. He's going 8 barracks on 3 base. Oh, reactors as well. That tells us HeroMarine wants to go all in. So he's going to start, after probably about 6 or 8 medevacs, he'll start building Liberators, and he's just going to do nothing but Marines, tanks, libs. He might build a 4th command center, but his 2nd factory is super late. He's probably not going to commit to that for a very long time, and it's a massive 3-base push that he's looking for up against a Reynor who, known for his greed, might go Hive, Hydra upgrades, and a 5th and 6th base all at once. If he does that without realizing what's happening, he's in trouble. But the Overseer's coming in. He sees extra barracks with reactors finishing. Let's see if Reynor... Watch this from Reynor's vision. So this drop is distracting him, but he looks. He sees mass reactors in the main. He does a double take, and Reynor knows what he's up against. Now, I think he might be able to afford a Hive, but more than anything, he needs to hit his injects, mass Ling Bane, and start backstabbing. The thing is, HeroMarine realizes that's a threat. He's got 3 Hellions in a tank ready. Oh, nice hot pick up there with those Marines. He wants to get rid of these creep tumors, trying to bait the Ling Bane into the tanks and scare him back, but the tanks aren't reaching far enough forwards. He's going to need to branch those out. Hive does start up as well as 2-2 upgrades for Reynor, but in the next 50 seconds, HeroMarine's trying to set up to fight 2-2 versus 1-1. He is about 80 seconds ahead on his 2-2, so if he can get in a position where he can force a fight with the double upgrade advantage, that's going to work out well, and these rocks give you some very nice tank positions. On the other hand, that Ling Bane run by could be nasty. The 3 Hellbats will help out. Let's see if HeroMarine sees this. We're on... Oh, this is HeroMarine's camera. Okay, the Ling Bane runs in. He only barely glances at it. I think just the tank shot landed, and Reynor immediately backed off. Let's go back to everyone's camera here. As the Marines do back off the tanks, you can see how far their range reaches. He scans to the north. He doesn't realize where that Ling Bane army is. Uh-oh, he's pulled his Hellbats forward. He's F2'd potentially. Uh-oh. He's going to stim his whole army backwards. Those Banelings still just splitting off from the Ling Bane, making it very hard for HeroMarine to push forward. HeroMarine's 2-2 is finished. He wants to fight now, but Reynor's making it difficult for him. He's going in from all sides. Reynor coming in from every single angle. Banelings flanking from the north, the south. Every single way. The Marines nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It doesn't matter how good your splits are. The Banelings find pretty good connections. But he does need to gather up and pull back, does Reynor. He's building 4 more queens. He's going mass queen here, which I always think is a questionable choice. I think having macro hatches and building more Lings and Banes is way better. But remember, he never built more than 1 macro hatch. He doesn't have any lava. His queens are trying to defend, but all they're really doing is buying a little bit of time. HeroMarine, even though he was completely surrounded, might still be able to do this. Reynor, did he pull the trigger too early? Remember, he's up against a 3-base player. He's going up to 6 bases. He could have abandoned this base and done heavier backstabs, and that might have been the better move. In general, being patient, giving up ground, and forcing the Terran to move beyond the optimal tank position, that's what shuts them down. Tank players, they go for these pushes where they want you to fight into their setup. Reynor may have set up a slick surround, but he still fought into the Terran setup with a double upgrade disadvantage. This is what I'm talking about. Do some Ling run buys, get some more Banelings over there as well, and really commit to a big Ling Bane run by. 10 Marines building at a time. He's got enough production to build like 15 Marines at a time if he wants to. Oh, Banelings get some good connects. The Marine Marauder is relentless though, and Overseer goes down. A lot of Overlords here as well. We've got Lings coming down the right side. Ling Bane there. Queen's coming in. Viper's running forward, trying to get some Blinding Clouds. They get 1 Blinding Cloud. The other one just shy on the energy. Does abduct the Siege Tank, but it looks like he might be breaking the back of this push. And Reynor, he holds on. This is beautiful. There's a tank somehow left on the left side of this map. I don't know why. These creep tumors will get taken out, but HeroMarine needs to pre-spread right now. I don't know if he should be stutter stepping in a ball. He's trying to do that ball micro. Actually, it's working. It's working. There's a few Banelings. If they slip through, it's high risk, but he gets the Banelings with the focus fire. A few medevacs get focused down right now, but he's still got a big ball of Marines. He focuses that down. The tank on the top should get taken out here. It gets a few shots off, but just shooting a Queen and a Hydra, not that effective. The Marines are still here. HeroMarine says, blasted your economy. But guess what? Reynor's still got the 3 base, and if he can transfer workers to this top base as well, that could be pretty nice. He's trying to retake this one. That top base, kind of a sneaky hidden one that, of course, HeroMarine, he did actually know about it, but hasn't done anything about just yet. SCV's floating over to the left. The main base lifting to the left side to prolong the 3 base push. HeroMarine is going to just keep on going, and he's got his 3-3 coming in, so he's going to want to force his next fight at 3-3 versus 2-2. Great Ling run by, though. Does get 6 SCVs pretty much for free. Pulls those Zerglings back. Reynor, he's got a bunch of Hydras now. They've got move speed, but they don't have the range upgrade. That tank, sieged up in no man's land, does go down. Not a bad pickoff for Reynor. His Lings trying to be annoying, and they are distracting the opponent, but they're not really getting that much done in terms of direct damage. 2 tanks, 2 Liberators on the way. And, of course, tons of Marines coming out behind this. Being able to drop mules on this base would be massive. Baneling Run-By is going to come in for Reynor. They could do a lot. Let's watch this. Oh, HeroMarine. HeroMarine's fighting on 2 fronts. He's not watching, but he F2A moves and actually cleans up the Banelings. The wall off working for him. The Marines in the bottom don't have a lot of medevacs. The second medevac saves most of the Marines. Great moves by HeroMarine. He takes out the base on the top side with this drop at the same time. He's going to try and go through the Spore Crawler and just drop beyond it. That could work out. There we go. Does go on past there. Lings are on the right side. If HeroMarine catches these Lings, it would be big. But the Lings run past. They find a decent engagement on that tank and those pack of Marines. HeroMarine shoving forward on the Queens, though. And he says, hey, I found your base. I found your economy. The drone's trying to evac down the right side, trying to slip out of trouble. The tank went down, but finally the Zerglings get cleaned up by the Marine rally. There is still 2 Marines in the main base just peppering the hatchery and the Hydra Den. Lings desperately diving across for the run-bys. HeroMarine, upset with losing that late game in the last one, is not going to let this go the same way. He is choking Reynor right now. Reynor starving for resources, starving for base control, and he just can't quite get in position in time. He has lurkers out, but they're not ready. He does go in and gets a command center and a full base of workers going down. Nice moves for Reynor. Oh, HeroMarine accidentally move commands his Marines there. He's F2 stutter stepping. He's not even watching these Marines. He was literally microing his army at the front and inadvertently microing those Marines. The panic F2 sets in. But you know what? He's decisive, he's solid, and he is cleaning up these Ling Bane run-bys, or even pure Zergling run-bys, I should say. He's down to just 40 SCVs, but Reynor, he might have 71 drones. He's got nowhere to mine from. They really don't have anything to do. Oh, and these guys, no way home for those drones. Oh, nasty. They get caught out in the open. Nice abduct on the siege tank. There's a bunch of lurkers. Mass Marine is very bad versus lurker Blinding Cloud Baneling. But he's still going to get the hatchery kill, and that is a loss Reynor cannot handle. He does find, yet again, the mineral line of HeroMarine. If Reynor were to win this game, it would be magical. It would be an insane comeback. But he is the comeback kid. You know? People deridingly call him Spaghetti Boy. I call him the comeback kid a lot more often than that, and that's because he is known for making disgusting comebacks over and over again. So in this one, the dream is basically he abducts all the tanks, parasitic bombs the medevacs, and then HeroMarine's like not watching and his Marines walk into the lurkers and they all die. It's kind of funny when the unit's moving kind of laterally past the lurkers and they just miss their shots. Marines coming on forward here as well. We've got the giant Marine drop on the south. So this can't really fight, but it can just run in and do crazy damage wherever Reynor's not set up. You know, HeroMarine kind of needs to keep pressing. He's going ghosts right now. Oh, wow. I didn't realize he's actually going ghosts. Okay, in that case, I'd like to see HeroMarine build another command center. I think building another command center just to keep that mining up would be pretty massive in the next minute or so. Comes forward. Looks like maybe he found a lurker alone on the left side. Some lurkers and banelings there. Just going to scare him back for now. Scans that. Still some creep down in the bottom right, giving some vision. Some Hydras and Vipers, hoping to catch a drop in the top left. Great instincts for Reynor. He says, I bet HeroMarine's going to try and drop me to death. If I run up here, maybe I catch a double drop. That's crazy. That's actually really, really cool. It's interesting the way HeroMarine's looking around the map. He's thinking about where the expansions are, because he looked up there, he looked there, he looked there, and he does have a drop up here. Uh-oh. Hydras and the Vipers are nearby. Abduct's going to come in. Oh. He knows the Vipers are there. Parasitic Bomb's going to take that medevac out. The bees! Blah! Still a giant advantage in terms of army supply for HeroMarine, 84 Marines. But boy, do they suck versus lurkers. This is why I really think he should be trying to drop around this bottom side, just split drops up into all the bases. But Reynor realizes that, and he's got lurkers and banelings kind of set up in all the different areas. Oh, he tries to just stim on the lurkers. That's a crazy move. That's a really wild move. Look at how fragile they are, man. HeroMarine there, getting a little bit of an itch. I'd like to see more command centers from him. I think he can transition this into a lead, but dude, Reynor right now is refusing to die, and he's just working these defensive units into an advantage. He's not letting him find an angle. Look at this. Reynor's lava almost even spotting this army. HeroMarine's going to go for a giant drop. Ooh, okay. The lurkers don't realize the drop's gone by. Reynor did not see that. Oh, army on the north comes forward. Big. Okay, he's got to get EMPs. EMP lands, but double abduct does take out a few of these units. Tanks are sieged. This is going to be a slow push for HeroMarine, but he can eventually get his way in there. Meanwhile, mass drop in the back of the net. There's not much to punish this. Remember, those Vipers are out of energy. They're trying to gather it off the hatchery. The Lurkers are getting blasted by the tanks. The Marines gunning down even the Lurkers here. But wait, the Medevacs aren't on top of them. Oh, man, these Marines are trading so well, though, that I don't think it matters. Reynor trying to fight back from behind, but eventually gets overwhelmed. And I got to say, that game there is the perfect example of Reynor just refusing to die. All right. Game number 3. Now he's tied up the series, and he finds himself on another map that's pretty damn good for Terran. Top right, it's HeroMarine. Down here in the bottom left side, we've got Reynor. Now, Reynor fought really well for mine. I think that's the perfect example of a game where, like, there's so many players who would have just got frustrated and played poorly in Reynor's situation, but Reynor just... he smiles when he's in those situations. He embraces the difficulty and says, well, I'm probably dead. I really screwed the pooch. But he's so quick to accept his former mistakes and just move past them and just play from the position he's in. And he just goes, yeah, I got nothing to lose. Like, if I win from here, it'll be great. I'll probably lose. Like, I probably won't win, but it is what it is. And that's just it. He just flows when he plays. He's probably jamming to his music since he's too lazy to double up his workers. He has 3 workers on 1 mineral patch there. He doesn't seem to have noticed it yet, since this guy on this patch here is only on his own. So a bit inefficient mining for Reynor. Reynor and Dark, it seems like these guys that just groove and play, they just have little mistakes in their early game pretty consistently because they're vibing. They're too busy singing their song, thinking about their build, having a good time. A machine like Serral would never stand for having 3 drones stacked up like that. The inefficiency would disgust him. And that's going to just basically lower Reynor's mining for this whole game if it stays like that. If he doesn't fix that or doesn't happen to pull a worker off that patch is going to mine out way earlier than the other ones, and this patch here he's just losing income basically. So small thing, but hats off to Reynor for staying in games. And even though he lost the last game, I actually think that demotivates HeroMarine. I would be very annoyed as HeroMarine if I was that far ahead and I had to struggle that hard to finish it off. You can see this is Marine Factory Reactor, a very good build order. The Overlord sees the Marine, so Reynor's just going to go in deep. He's like, okay, I'm just going to scout what you're up to. Just check what this build is, Mr. HeroMarine. If your Marine's on the low ground, that's fine. I can just run to the right now and easily escape. Notice he's going back to the ledge. So the ledge is always a really nice safe zone in any situation where your opponent can only have 1 unit that can shoot it from the ground. Because you can always go to the low ground or the high ground depending on which direction their unit's going. And you can see Reynor easily escapes it and gets a full scout with the Overlord. Beautiful play. Alright, Zergling's going to come on forward. He's going to see what he can find up here. And he just confirms that it is a starport. Not really the most useful since he'd already seen everything, but not the end of the world either. 3rd Queen starts up in the main, and it looks like he's just going to start spreading creep around his main as well as forwards. 3rd hatchery there also. Hellion coming forward. HeroMarine's really been enjoying these single Hellion builds to start 2 Marines as well. So usually you go for a Marine drop with this build order, and then you have 3 or 4 Hellions built one at a time that can also run in and one-shot those workers if you catch them out of position. Allows you to catch Overlords as well with the drop, do some kind of flexible damage with the Marines, and it's still enough Hellions to pose a threat, even though it's nothing compared to the 6 Hellions from a reacted factory build. Medevacs are on the way. We've got more command center SCV production coming on in. This creep tomb is really nice. This is something which used to be a lot of players would just only do it after they repeatedly get dropped in the main. And just doing this ahead of time every Zerg versus Terran makes it so much easier to hunt down Banshees, Battlecruisers, drops. Especially if Reynor remembers to spread it, which he does. That'll be great. He's going to get creep tumors spreading up to that side. He's already got 3 tumors over there as well. And the drop's coming out. It's only 6 Marines. So maybe a little lighter on that Marine production than he could have been, but he's getting a Raven and more Hellions behind it. So he's going to do Raven Hellion follow-up. Very cool. Overlord will come in and we'll actually see the starport on the tech lab. No, he doesn't actually see that. If he saw that, he might have been able to assume that this is Battlecruiser, which would have been the wrong read. Would have got him to build Spore Crawlers. Ooh, HeroMarine very well defended. Queens there and Lings in the main does mean the Hellions maybe could have got in, but he doesn't want to run past the Queens. Still just playing it safe. HeroMarine realizes that Reynor is very good in his early defense, and you don't want to dive in there and throw your units away. Oh, Hellions go for a divey dive, and I don't know, man. It looks like the Ling's got a pretty good surround. These Hellions are going to try and make this more efficient. He should run the red one while the other one's turned to shoot. 4 Hellions for 11 Zerglings. Not a good trade for HeroMarine, but he realizes the Lings are out of position, so he does dive the drop in the main, at least get some mining time here. I'd like to see those Marines get back in the medevac in a moment. Ooh, or just clump up. Focus the Overlord would be great. Oh, HeroMarine not really microing this. The Hellions are kind of worried about what's going to happen. It's really weird microing this pressure, trying to figure out what you can do. Does he dive for it? He's going to go, oh, he just shoots the Baneling Nest. Maybe a bit too cautious here. And then he goes back in. Oh, HeroMarine not having the confidence to go in the first time. Runs the drop in and the Hellions and loses both of them for nothing but mining time. Okay, he gets 1 drone at the end of that, but that unit's lost tab is bad. He's lost all map control. And guess what? He's doing a 2-base all in, but he's lost all map control. The creep can now spread freely. Injects will be going down on all the hatcheries. You can see the Queen spreading back out amongst those. 4th base goes down on the left side, and he's got nothing to answer except a Raven to do some auto turret harass. Oh, he's moving his barracks back from the front now because he's worried about a Zergling running up and seeing barracks in the natural and know that there's a 2-base push. Remember that Reynor's big weakness is he sucks at scouting. When he's ahead especially, he's just like, had a smooth opening. He's just too lazy to do it. No Overseer morphing. He's barely poking. Now he has a Zergling patrolling, and that should start to ring some alarm bells. I mean, HeroMarine should be trying to move out and pretend at least that there is an expansion attempt, but he hasn't done that just yet. Auto turret gets 5 workers. Reynor not reacting. What's going on, Reynor? Another auto turret goes down. This one not getting nearly as much, but still gets a Zergling or 2 and a little bit of mining time. Raven up to 8 kills, not bloody bad. Double drop's going to move across this map. The problem is if you're not moving out and pretending to move SCVs out here, Reynor knows what he's up against. He's stopped on 59 workers. He's on 4 gases. He's going to mass Ling Bane, and his creep control is massive. This is going to be very, very difficult for HeroMarine to find any openings from this point. He's got a 3rd command center on the way on the high ground. He builds it in vision of an Overlord. Oh, no. It's very unfortunate. If he built it over there, it would have been harder for Reynor to see what's up. Reynor goes back to droning, realizing, hey, this might not even be an all-in. And look at that. He gets a medevac. Oh, this is really bad for HeroMarine. He wants to stand and fight for the boys, but he still has to get up and get out of there. A full medevac goes down. Meanwhile, the Raven coming on back here. HeroMarine's going to try and dig his way out of the trenches just bit by bit. Picks up his shovel and just starts on picking up load after load of dirt. But you know what? This is that dirt from years of trench warfare where it's all just being pounded into mud and mush and fecal matter. It's the sort of stuff. He's going to get an infection just by trying to dig his way out of this. There is so much creep across this map. Not a bad move. Gets a few creep tumors, a few lings. Can use this little drippy droppy to try and get rid of some more creep, but he can't move and drop like that, or he can't pick the Marines up. You got to be careful. Another couple of Marines go down for a few tumors, and look how quick the Queens are there. They could even run forward and focus these units down. HeroMarine's trying to find a way to get something done. He's on 49 workers, 3rd base floating down. It looks like he's still committed to an all-in. The 3rd base is a fake more than anything. He's building nothing but Marines, tanks, libs, a couple of SCVs coming in, but not that many. And does pick up those Marines. Gets a few more creep tumors. I like the tanks on the high ground. That gives him very good control to the middle, allows him to start at least controlling this area. But Reynor's creep starting to probe up the back, going around the side. Reynor's always going to look for a way, and the Raven goes down! Oh, so unfortunate there for HeroMarine. Great transfuse and focus fire from Reynor. Takes it down. 81 workers, smallest map in the pool versus a guy who's on 50 workers doing a 2.5 base all in. And Reynor, the greedy boy, he just says, 81 drones, no worries, man. 31 worker lead in a hive, totally calm, normal, safe play. Reynor is so greedy. This is what got him into trouble against guys like Bunny and Maru when they choose to 2-base all in him. He suffered it because he's so greedy. Now he's far enough ahead. I think he might still be able to just shut this down and, oh, well, okay, yep, GG. Pig, don't kill the hype with your commentary. Guys, all I was doing was giving you a live transcription of HeroMarine's thoughts as he realized what happened. That's what ran through his head as he looked back and saw that that depot was still lowered and those units got in. He absolutely realizes he is deep in Dicktown. He does not have a ticket home. It's a one-way journey on this train. And I don't know, man. That is devastating. 42 workers. A savage Ling Bane attack. This is massive. Oh, Ling Bane coming forward. Queens trying to move in and take care of these units. The Ling Bane rolls over most of the Marines. My God. Oh, my God. Reynor winning with the Queen Sponge on the high ground, the Ling Bane on the low ground. A disgusting win there after some fantastic early game defense. And it all came back to that one moment. I really feel like if HeroMarine just backed off, it was fine. So there was this point here, right? The drop takes a bit of damage, but that's all fine. And there's a point where these 5 Hellions rotate, and they get a little bit surrounded, and it's not great for him. Part of that is because they weren't on A move, they were on move command, so they moved into the Lings rather than stopping to fight. So he loses a few Hellions here for free, right? He loses 3 Hellions for a bunch of Zerglings. It's not great. But it's the follow-up to that where he just gets antsy. So he goes in, gets some damage done with the Marines, not microing it too well, unfortunately, though. You can tell he's a little frazzled. And the Hellions could have ran in at this moment. But he doesn't. He misses the opportunity. He says, oh, maybe I can go in now. And maybe he could still get 1 or 2 volleys off on the drones if he just dove in since the Lings are out of position. But he shoots the Baneling Nest, backs off, and then he second-guesses himself, says, no, let's do it again. And he dives past the Queens with the drop, dives into 3 Hellions. If he keeps these units alive, he can keep the Queens controlled, save these units for later, and there's pressure on Reynor, making it hard for him to take a 4th, hard to go to the next step, hard to scout that there's a 2-base all-in behind it. But this was a massive overcommitment. Reynor shut this one down pretty hard. Looks like he got only the 1 drone. Like I said, the Hellions got surrounded by the Zerglings at the same time. Gets that 1 drone there, and that's a disaster. GG. Reynor takes the 2-1 lead. Rough turn of events in that last game. Let's see if we can bring it back here on Tropical Sacrifice. HeroMarine, repping Mouse Esports in the top right. Reynor down in the bottom left side, representing Kaiser Gaming. It's really nice defense for Reynor in that last game. And I mean, that build that HeroMarine did is a really cool build. I love it. I'm just not sure if it's the build that you want to do against Reynor, because he's so good with his defense, unless you're really confident with how well you've practiced it. Which, I mean, Reynor's played against it a ton. He's played against Maru doing that opening, Beyond doing that opening so many times. So, to me, it feels like one of those build orders that's especially good when you catch someone off guard. What? What is HeroMarine doing? Guys, double gas 1-base opening. HeroMarine's doing a special opening. Ooh, this is exciting. I don't know what he's starting to do, man. I don't know what... Is it just going to be a quicker than normal Hellion dive? I mean, what? Is it fastest ever battlecruiser rush? Just kidding. He's already got 19 SCVs. Definitely not that. But it could just be like a 3 Reaper 2 Hellion opening. That actually is not bad against Zerg. A lot of people so used to, like, you know, just go double Hellion. They forget that Reapers are so nice because their grenade bounces Queens around and they regen as well. So gives you a nice little kind of self-healing life pool at the front of those forces. And there we go, pulls 3 workers off gas, starts a factory. So he wants to go for the command center. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a Reaper Hellion opening. This is really cool. Now, as cool as this opening is, I do feel like this is yet another opening that Reynor is usually one of the best players up against. Just high-pressure openings that rely on micro and, you know, off-the-cuff handling skills to deal with. It's kind of his specialty. Now, HeroMarine queues up 1 more SCV. So he's going to go command center on 24 supply at 2 minutes 20. So it's about a 35 to 40 second delay on that command center. Not too bad. Reaper's going to come in, throws a grenade there, doesn't hit anything. Does force an extractor trick already, though, so very nicely done on this Reaper. And doesn't quite get the next one, but he's looking for the Zergling. I'm surprised he didn't loop there going for the Zergling. It's dangerous because Reynor is so good at blocking you with his Lings. You don't want to go too deep. Ling speed starts up really early for Reynor this game, just before the third base and before the third queen starts. Well, that's unfortunate. When you go 2 Reapers and a Hellion this early, you're really hoping to catch him with a later Ling speed. The Reapers do jump in there. They're going to get a bit of damage on them from the Zerglings, but not too bad. Still healthily going towards the main. Reynor already pulls a drone back from this. Hellion's going to dive in the natural. It's a very cute opening. I've seen this one around a little bit lately. I really feel like Reynor is pretty solid against it, though. If anyone's just going to do spore tricks to save these drones, it's going to be Reynor. And indeed he is. There we go. Drone does go down. That brings it up to 2 drones total. You know what? 2 drones, a bunch of spore tricks, a bit of mining time, disruption. I don't think it's too bad. As long as HeroMarine's hitting his macro just right behind it, which... Let's take a look. He's got another Hellion arriving. He's building Marines and Medevac and even a Widow Mine now. So he's going to go for a Widow Mine drop. Widow Mine drop, I always poo on. I always say it's a terrible build. Every time Maru does it, I make fun of it. And then he kills 20 workers versus someone who's god tier like Cyril or Reynor. And I'm like, what? That should never happen. But I feel like just as often it does backfire and do nothing. But we always remember the times when I call it out as being an inconsistent build and then it actually succeeds. Whoa, 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 whoa. HeroMarine is going Fusion Core. Dude, this is like Gummio style aggression. It's just non-stop layers of units in your opponent's face. Should be able to at least damage this Overlord. Man, that dead space is really annoying. For a Terran player, he's like, well, I guess I just need a Viking, or he just gets to see everything I do, right? That's irritating. Zergling run by getting ready. Marine Mine, Reaper drop coming forwards across this map. A few Hellions left at the natural for defense. Hot tip for any Terran players out there. Don't leave your Hellions at the front of the base. Notice HeroMarine leaves them further back. So if Lings run in, he has an extra couple of seconds to micro these Hellions to react rather than just getting them instantly surrounded. It's a mistake I see low-level players make far too often. It's leaving those Hellions out in the most exposed area. Ooh, there's a Marine here and some SCVs to help back it up. But good, man, good Ling micro by Reynor. He's very dangerous with that. Oh, Ling's on top of the drop as well. Loses a couple Marines there. The Lings in the natural being a bit of a nuisance. Getting a couple of SCVs, and they should get a third one as well. Hellion, oh, don't get it surrounded. HeroMarine, careful. Reynor just keeping him busy and getting amazing damage. Oh, 5 SCVs, you're kidding me. 5 SCVs in a Hellion. This is a massive, massive boon. Not only that, but the battlecruiser got slowed down and it's about to get scouted. Oh, HeroMarine is 100% going to be in Tilt Town. These last 2 games, after such a good game 1 where it felt like HeroMarine was even ahead for a fair bit of it, and Reynor fought back and just beat him in the late game. Game 2, Reynor refused to die even though HeroMarine was ahead, and it feels like his confidence has been shot. I told you guys there's nothing to lose from staying in the game. And it can even hurt the other player's confidence. And I really feel that Data C game, Reynor being so hard to kill, hurt HeroMarine's confidence a little bit. And he's just making a couple of small mistakes. And all you need is tiny mistakes, and Reynor capitalizes on it so hard. The transfuse is coming in massive. He gets rid of all the transfuse energy, and yet the queen does not die. The BC wounded has to retreat. Hellions on the north side, deep on creep. Lings could surround that at any moment. I'm surprised Reynor doesn't just jump on it. There we go. HeroMarine's going to try and get out of there. He gets a first good volley off. I would have liked to see a juke back onto the creep, but he does make it out. And look at that. Ooh, pulling away with that battlecruiser down to 120 hit points. He's got a drop coming over with... Whoa, it's a repair station, guys! He's bringing a repair station forward on the map. HeroMarine is going for the memes right now. He drops 4 SCVs to repair the battlecruiser on location. Holy crap. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Twitch chat has a gargantuan stiffy right now. They've been asking, why don't you bring SCVs across the map to repair battlecruisers? Because it's really expensive and stupid, Twitch chat. HeroMarine, though, the champion of the people, unlike idiots like me that just shit on people's ideas, he's actually going for it. He's actually brought SCVs to repair. He's going for a giant Hellbat all-in. Hellbats, BCs, and a giant YOLO. Unfortunately for him, Reynor's going roaches. Reynor's got roaches, which are so good versus the Hellbats. The Queen's maybe getting hammered, but he's got a Spire on the way. The BCs are doing very well. The Hellbats are morphing right now. The BC's going to go after the Queens. The Hellbats and the Marines doing pretty good versus these roaches. Reynor needs to kite with those roaches. He needs to pull them back to make sure the Hellbats don't get on top. The BC's doing some good damage. I wouldn't mind those BCs going back in. How many SCVs are left? Only one SCV left. One Drilly Boy left repairing these BCs on the front. He needs to get on top, but look at that Spore Crawler move down. Great moves by Reynor. Allows him to hold onto the natural. Forces HeroMarine back to the third, and he can't get on the drones because there's so many roaches popping out. Oh my god, the BCs! They're taking a lot of damage. They do get another Queen. All the transfuse energy is gone. The Hellbats and the BCs trying to kite backwards. A third command center just started at home. It's 41 SCVs versus 67. This was a massively committed push. He needs to do more damage than this. He needs to do more damage, but Reynor's Queens are holding strong. Third BC comes in. Ooh, but there's Spore Crawlers right behind it. The Queens are quick to retreat, and that is a big problem for HeroMarine. He's got a 4th battlecruiser on the way, but the Corruptors are now starting to trickle out. 2 Corruptors, 3 Queens in the production tab. Reynor has a 23 worker advantage, and he's stabilized on the ground. He's got 14 roaches to deal with the Hellbats. Another BC. Oh, get out of there! Gets the low hit point BC out. Another Yamato is available right now. He's got to be careful to not walk into Spore Crawler range. And just these units popping out on all sides. The 4th hatchery's up. The Corruptors are going to start to come forward. This is a tough position. HeroMarine's not building SCVs. He's just pulling more to repair. Yamato's a Queen. But he knows he's not going to get it done. He's been stalled out for too long. And a slick all in for HeroMarine. But it felt like he just didn't get enough damage early to set up for it in Game 3 or Game 4. And Reynor once again just proves that he is so hard to kill. Comes out with a 3-1 victory.